Hello everyone and welcome back. Now during Jurassic World Evolution 2's relatively short lifespan, I have speculated, I've delivered useful facts, park tips, but funnily enough I've never actually discussed any useless facts because frankly they're useless. So I was very 50-50 with whether to go on board with making this video, but in the end I decided to because despite the facts being utterly useless in some aspects, they are actually quite interesting. And some of the stuff mentioned in today's video is a sort of recurring theme on the channel because really there's surprisingly not that many, quote, useless facts in Jurassic World Evolution 2 because being a building simulator, pretty much anything and everything really helps you. I could even go on as far to say that actually, despite herding goats seeming like the weirdest thing to possibly need to do in this game, it might actually be helpful. So, use your own judgment, but what I've gone for today is 5 really useless tips in Jurassic World Evolution 2. Now, as always, if you do go on to enjoy today's video or somehow find it useful in spite of it not being useful, please do consider liking and subscribing. Let's try and hit 30 likes on today's video. We've been doing relatively good lately, so yeah, it'd be nice if we can keep that up. Now, if you don't know me, if you don't know the sort of Salino channel, then subscribing is very much appreciated. I've got very exciting plans in the not so distant future actually, so if you do want to see what I've got in store, then make sure to subscribe, especially with notifications on. But with that being said, I'm not going to waste any more of your time and enjoy the video. Of course, being a primarily Jurassic World Evolution 2 YouTuber, it means that a large majority of my community simultaneously play Jurassic World Evolution 2. And if this is your first experience with JWE2, then generally speaking, in this game, it's really hard-ish to find something that can be considered not useful. But this does heavily depend on how you really define useful in terms of Jurassic World Evolution 2, because you could theoretically say that the Struthiomimus isn't helpful just because it's such a bad value dinosaur, but then again, I don't really see too many people doing challenge modes anymore, so I don't think that matters all too much. So yeah, with that factor in mind, for today's video and just general continuity, I'm going to be using the definition of useful, in which is something that actually contributes to your park, or no, actually something that doesn't contribute to your park, because then it would be useful, and this is a video dedicated to not useful facts. So with that being said, the first not useful fact I have for you in Jurassic World Evolution 2, I've actually already mentioned in today's video, and that's the fact that you can actually herd goats. I'm not sure really as to why this is even in the game. I'm sure it's something because goats are technically considered animals as well, so for that reason they can be herded too. But then I don't see why you'd really ever need to herd goats, because obviously if you're going to put a carnivore feeder in your carnivore enclosure, you're never really going to need to move it. I mean, sure, if a goat no-clips through a fence, then perhaps you might need to herd it to get back, but again, that never really bothers me because I don't pay attention to goats running around my park, but perhaps I should, and for that reason, Frontier have decided to add herding our goats into Jurassic World Evolution 2. But I mean, perhaps you can somehow find a use for this. Maybe you want to build like a goat army or something, I don't know, whatever floats your boat. But in my opinion, I don't think there's really any use for this, and for that reason, it's the first thing in this list. Now, second up, this is a fact that I'm sure many of you will be aware of because I've mentioned it on the channel before, and this is the fact that the Dimetrodon is the only dynapsid in the game. Now, if you don't know what that means, basically it's the only non-marine or flying reptile that isn't actually a dinosaur. Now, for ages now I've been making the mistake saying that it's a synapsid and not a dynapsid. I didn't actually know there was a difference. I thought that synapsids were just a different way of saying dynapsids, but I was wrong, as I found out last time out. So yeah, just a quick public apology. I will start calling the Dimetrodon a dynapsid. However, there's literally no use for this fact unless you're planning on building like a non-dinosaur park, in which you could actually do and get 5 stars on it. Has been done before, but just with the Dimetrodon, it's not actually a dinosaur and it's a one of a kind. So yeah, there's an interesting fact for you. Now, moving on, this fact could actually be considered somewhat useful if you play challenge mode. However, I don't really know anyone that plays challenge mode anymore because, I've completed it and I'm sure that most of you have completed it. However, this fact is the fact that the Tylosaurus is actually the most valuable animal, not dinosaur, in Jurassic World Evolution 2. 2 Tylosaurus have the same rating as 1 Mosasaurus, however you get 3 Tylosaurus in a batch, so, you know, it's going to have the highest rating overall. So actually in your parks you're better off having Tylosaurs than Mosasaurs. So yeah, that could be considered useful if you are still completing challenge mode, and if you are completing challenge mode, let me know whereabouts you're at down in the comments. Next up though, for our penultimate useless fact, is actually the fact that you cannot herd marine or flying reptiles. This is another fact that could be considered useful just in case, say, you know, loads of your pterosaurs have broken out the aviary and you want to capture them all in one batch. It's just not very ethical because obviously you're going to have to put them through the aviary one by one, and it just wouldn't really work. Similar thing for the aquatics though, because, you know, they can't break out, all they really do is swim about. And yeah, I mean, it would be awesome if we could have a little speedboat and have our mosasaurs and tylosaurs chasing us down, but unfortunately it's not in the game, so that's something we're gonna have to wait for another day. And finally, perhaps one of the more interesting facts on this list, there's no dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution 2 that start with an F or Z. Now, this can be interpreted in different ways because you can name your dinosaurs per se Zeb and then they start with an F or Z, but their species name isn't in-game actually able or doesn't just generally start with an F or Z. And I can't actually think of any dinosaurs that start with an F or Z other than like Zolmoxes, so like, you know, I don't think I've ever really noticed this because frankly, there's not too many dinosaurs that start with an F or Z. So there you go, there's something else for you to comment. Let me know dinosaurs that start with an F or Z. Who knows, maybe that's the secret DLC that's releasing this year, the F and Z Dinosaur DLC. But with that being said, that does just about wrap up today's video. If you have enjoyed, let's try and hit 30 likes on today's video, and if you aren't subscribed, please do consider it. I upload 4 videos a week, all really based around Jurassic World Evolution 2, and yeah. And odds are you've probably subscribed to me before, but haven't watched my videos in a while, and for that reason YouTube have actually removed you from my subscriber list. So, you know, if that has happened, if you remember subscribing to me, then subscribing again is very much appreciated. I hate it when that happens. But yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching, and I do hope to catch you in the next one.